We have created our own org structure. We have created on the EWM side some new objects. They are master data, but we create them as part of integration, the supply chain unit, mapping of business partners to the owner, partner to dispose, and custodian. Then we also discussed about what is business system group, how it enables EWM to integrate with more than one ERP system. Business system also same function, execute same function as compared. Basically, business system group is for master data. Business system is for the transactional data. Okay. So we'll be starting with our next unit, which is warehouse structure and EWM master data. At the end of this unit, we will go through. We'll be able to configure the structure elements within the warehouse, the storage type, section, bins. There's a new structure element called activity areas. We have some more like doors, staging areas. We'll try to understand them, see how they are configured in system. And then we'll also discuss the master data objects, products, packaging specification, more detail. There are other master data objects which we'll list them, but we will not go through them in detail with this unit this week. We will go through them in detail in our process scenarios, process sessions, because they require some background. Like PSA will require some background data to create a PSA in system or understand in more detail. Okay, so the focus will be on the products and the packaging specification in master data. We'll also talk about the mass upload tools for these objects, storage bin upload, product upload, and also about pack spec upload, what tools we use, the templates I'll share with you.
And Rohan, when you do this packaging specification, so in packaging, we control the SAC number range, right? On that basis of that. So there is one GS1 number range which we follow, 18 digit check digit. And then there is one stationary number range, and just a counter. Right?
Yes.
So we'll cover that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct. So that is not as part of PackSpec, that's part of handling unit creation. But yeah, before understanding PackSpec, we have to configure the number ranges for handling units. So at that moment, we'll try to understand this in more detail.
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay, so I think we don't have Bridge yet. Shall we continue?
I think Bridge send me a message that we can continue. He joined a bit late.
Okay. So in warehouse, we have these structure elements. There are a few more to start with. In warehouse, we have storage types, then we have sections and bins. So storage type, basically you can imagine physically it's a room or different section, different area of your warehousing complex. So these, you can have a storage type created with the bins with similar characteristics, and some of the common storage types, the fixed bin storage, high rack storage. You store the products on floor or open storage, bulk storage, pushback racks. So there are several types of storages in a warehouse. So basically, depending on the storage, you would identify it as a storage type. So I'll say fixed bin storage, for example. Here the concept is we assign a fixed bin to a product, and product they always go into that dedicated bin. So it's typically you have big racks like this, and there's a barcode of the product which is supposed to get stored into that fixed bin, something like this. And typically like this, you have dedicated location, the barcode of the product and the bin together. So the product is always kept in that particular bin. Okay. So yeah.
So just to add to that, so the fixed bin, when I will perform, I have a fixed bin setup. So when I will perform a good receipt, so it will go to the staging area, and from the staging area, it will move to the fixed bin, and which system should automatically determine, right? This is the same thing.
Yeah, same thing. Fixed bin storage is same like WM. You have a dedicated location where the products are stored.
But it will first receive in a staging area, right?
That is common for all receipts. All receipts will be first in the staging area and then to the final bin. All storage will follow the same steps. So
it's something like 901 when we do the GR. So it goes to the interim location. So this is something same.
Yeah, and here we have 9010 storage type, similar to what 901.
Yeah. Stop me if I'm going a bit fast, yeah?
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Okay. So here we have another storage, like it's a bulk storage. Here we don't have any racks, and the products, the pallets are piled up one above the other, one behind the other. So we will see, in our detailed inbound and outbound session how to configure these. But yeah, I'm just trying to show you physically how the storage type looks like. So this is a fixed base storage that we just saw. This is a bulk storage. So all our finished products, they will be on pallets and they will be kept in lanes, one behind the other, one above the other. We will look and create this. Look into the storage in more detail. Create our own lanes, our own structure, and we'll see how to configure the receipts and put away from the storage. At this moment, we'll aim is to just create all these storage types into the system. Okay. And if it's a bulk, so we will copy a bulk storage of standard. It's a fixed, so we'll copy a fixed of standard. So we'll just create them and just keep them ready for process configuration. Okay. So we have bulk, we have fixed, we have high rack storage. So there are two types of storage. One is in case of rack, one is high rack, and where like sometimes you also have see these are high racks. They go to good height. These racks go up to 5-6 level high, and sometimes you need a special rack, special truck, to move within this and to remove the pallets from the top level to the below level so that it can be delivered. So you have really high racks here in your warehouse. So sometimes they are so dense. We also call them as very narrow aisle, and you have a special VNA truck to store parts into those aisles. Okay, so this is high rack storage that we'll be using, and then we also have a rack storage. This is so there are parts in high rack storage. The entire design is made when you also consider the weight of the parts that are supposed to get stored here. So you can the total weight capacity of this rack is to hold 6 or 7 high. So sometimes you may have parts, they if you store them six in this one above the other, the it will be above the weight carrying capacity of the aisle. So we sometimes have normal rack storage, which is 2 or 3 level high maximum, especially for it's if the weight is too high, then the weight carrying capacity of the high rack, so you can store them into these aisles. So these aisles are not that high, just 3 or 4 level high, something like this. 3 level high or maximum 4 level high. That's it. They don't go really high like a VNA.
Yeah. So in high rack, there's a control like the light material should go at the lower and the heavy material should go at the higher. Yeah. So that will be again been a part. So I think capacity check on the bin or something like that. We control it.
Yes, we will control that as part of our bin tag configuration.
Yeah, and there is a positioning as well. There are like I can hold in a rack. There's a 4 bin like it used to have in a EWM. So we can have a position 1, position 2, position 3, and position 4. Like we define the position. So do we have that in these storage types?
I'll come to that. I'm still not raised a storage type. That's a pallet storage. I'll be coming to that.
Okay.
High fixed rack. Let's look at the open, and then the numbering will come in the pallet storage. So next is open storage. So this open storage is like a general storage of a warehouse where it's like a yard, or it can also be a shade, or it can also be like a mixed open area. Okay, where you keep all your bulky parts, big parts like a pipe in a shade, the big paper rolls or big steel rolls, you can keep them in your shade. That becomes your open storage. This whole area is like open storage. So open storage, you don't need much of a system control. It's like you visually see which part is kept there, and you pick them. You can easily identify and pick them. So generally open storage is identified, where basically you are keeping all the parts which are not stacked above the other. You just simply kept on the floor, and you can easily identify and pick them. So, and you allow all types of products into that storage. It becomes a really Mixed storage allowed. Ideally, it is just 1 or 2 bins. We don't create many bins for open storage. It's like a general storage for all types of parts. Yeah. So this is also kind of a general storage. Then we have a pallet storage in warehouse where it's more like a rack storage only, but it's more like we saw the high rack and a VNA rack. But here in one, basically this you can also have an arrangement where this entire bin is one. Entire bin is one, and this is the entire thing is one bin, and you can store pallets, multiple pallets in a bin. So high rack and VNA generally they have one handling unit or one pallet per bin like this. So this is one bin, this is another bin, this is another bin. But in a pallet storage, you can place several pallets in a bin. Okay. So basically this bin would get divided into sections. So this will become first section, this will become second section, third section. So you can choose, when you're designing your racks, or when there are the warehouse has designed their racks and they come up to you, so you will have an option. If they say each location is one for me, one pallet. That's how it is 99% of the time. But if at all, they say no, the entire thing is one location. Sometimes we store 3 pallets, sometimes we store 1 pallet, sometimes we store 2 pallets, or maybe even 4. Then this becomes a pallet strategy. So in pallet strategy also we'll see how to configure placement, stock removals. But yeah, physically it's like a rack only, and only difference is how you name your bin.
So here, like the bulk storage we had, and we have the pallet storage types. Now, in the bulk storage type, I cannot activate the positioning like the one you have explained. It has to be only in a pallet location, pallet storage type.
Yes, you cannot do positioning in bulk storage.
Okay. Okay.
So let's go ahead and do this configuration. So while we are
Is there other type of storage types as well, like cold storage? If you got a cold section, are they different things?
Yeah, there are. You see, depending on it, let's not label. That you'll only get these 6 type of storage. You can have, depending on the industry, you can have 8, 12 different types of storage. But what matters is the type of storage. So if it's a cold storage, is it, it's a rack, or it's a fixed bin arrangement, or it's a bulky thing? These are the main classification.
Okay.
Then it all depends, if it is rack, you may configure it in a different way. For example, you don't want to add another pallet to an existing bin. You don't want to do addition to allowed. You want to just keep it. Always it should go to a new empty bin. So it all, you can create any storage type, like in hundreds of storage type. But what matters is, how you're going to place a stock, how you're going to remove it. So these are the broad classification of the types of storage. Yeah. So your cold storage will be like, for example, I'll just give you an example. In your food industry generally, there's meat. Meat is like a general storage. If you have seen, meat, they are kept on a rack, upside down. The meat sometimes they have to be they are not kept in a rack one above the other. They are just kept open. So it's an open storage, and I will also create a storage type which is a strategy of open storage, and I'll rename it as a cold storage.
Okay.
Yeah. So all right. So yeah, I was about to mention that while we are configuring this storage type, we will see some of the important indicators in system. I will explain you these indicators. Basically, the storage type is config is divided into several sections. To put away, there are settings for put away, there are settings for stock removal, settings for goods movement replenishment. We'll go through them and understand these important indicators. May not be applying them now, because once we do these indicators, we may not be able to test them. We'll keep them as they are in the standard system, and then we will change them, as and when we execute a scenario. So I'm just going to take you through some of the important indicators which you should be aware of at this stage. So let's get all these areas created into the system. first thing. So like we create a warehouse, we create and we copy, the standard. Similarly, SAP has provided us, an option to copy these types of storage. We'll copy them, then we'll make changes to them.
And do we go through the fields of the storage type session? It will be separate.
Yeah, we'll go through them. But fields of storage type, process type, similar to your movement type, they will not complete them anyway. We will go through them again and again till the end.
Yeah.
So
Whatever. Yeah. So whatever on top of your head, you remember it. I know so many fields over there within the storage type, but we can start with the most important one.
I'll highlight the ones which are important at the time you create a storage type. First thing, so just imagine when you are working in a project, there are things that you should decide the time you create a storage type, because you cannot change them. Okay, but other things are like put away, stock removal. You can change them because you may be configuring this process. You may test. There may be several requirements, and you can later change them. But there are certain definitions which ideally it's better if you get an answer at the start. If you don't get, still it's fine. But the expectation would be to have them defined right at the start. Warehouse is WH34. So this standard system unit has all these I series ones. Okay. And somebody had copied, let me delete this. Somebody has made change to 1710 created 8005 over there. Just remove it. Okay. So this is how, these are all the standard storage type that we get in the best practice system with this system where best practices are activated. So the first thing I would like to create is 8001 higher rack storage. So high rack storage is similar to a narrow aisle storage. Okay. So we copy that. We call it as high rack, but in this it's narrow aisle. So I'll just give a name, storage type as 8001. Right. So here, important thing to note here is handling unit is mandatory, and this is a required thing for a for a high rack storage. Basically for rack storage, where you're going to place pallets, you need to make this handling unit mandatory. So handling unit requirement is one of the important indicator that we set up when we are creating a storage type. So we need to know whether handling unit is going to be mandatory, optional, or display. So it's not, mandatory to, it's not, it's not the end of the world. You can also change it later. Okay. But let's say we configured it as mandatory. We moved it to quality. Okay. We are waiting in quality. We did some testing. We realized and business came up with a defect in UAT saying that, this should be an optional. So you can do it optional, move the changes to quality. The only thing you need to keep in mind is when you're moving changes to important indicators of your storage type, ideally the storage type should be empty. Okay. So because, for example, if it was optional, you made it mandatory and there is stock without handling unit, that will get stuck there over there. Okay. You will not be able to remove them. So you need to be careful with some of the indicators. And if you cannot avoid changing, best thing is to, when they're moving a transport, make sure the storage type is empty in the quality of production system. Okay. So this is one indicator. Then you have several other indicators, like it's a fixed pin. These are all for a fixed pin storage. This is very important storage type role. So I'm not sure we had this. I think we did not have it in WM. So this is standard storage type where you're going to store your parts. I'm going to maintain a storage type rule when for the staging area like 9010 we were talking about. So that will be a staging area group. We will have work centers, doors, these storage type work centers. Now this is staging area, doors. Okay, we will have those roles assigned, relevant roles assigned. Okay, we will have a storage type for the yard, and that will have a role G. Okay, there will have a production supply area, which is storage type P1000. It will have role K. Okay, so these are all the roles. We may have identification point, pick point for these areas. These are the identification and the pick points. They will have those relevant roles. Basically, identification is, before you store the part, you identified in this area some labeling or some other requirement before you kind of place it into the final area. And then this is a pick point generally used in outbound when you take a full pallet, you open the pallet, you take out the material, and then you keep the pallet away. So you might have seen the pallet, the high rack storage or bulk storage. There is no place to open a pallet in the rack. So it is taken to an area, you open it, pick the part, and then keep the remaining thing back. So that is a pick point. These areas will be created as pick points. And then,
one more time, pick point. So what we said in the pick points, one more time, please. So this is a production area.
So pick points are basically for example, you take a part, you need to pick a partial quantity of a pallet. You cannot take the partial quantity out of a pallet in a rack storage or bulk storage, because there is no space to take the pallet, keep it down, bring the pallet down from a height, and then open the pallet, take the part, and then you need to keep the pallet back. So there's no space to do this in your rack storage or bulk storage, because the lanes are very small. If you keep the pallet down, there are chances of damage. So we have a dedicated area. You just take the pallet to that area. It's a space to keep your pallet, do a repacking, take whatever you want from that pallet. The remaining quantity you can then take it back to the bin.
That in this area we can generate a new SEC number as well, right? Or new pallet number as well.
Yeah, you can do that as well. Yeah.
And how do you manage? So when you're putting a pallet away, just logically, I've scanned my pallet, right? I just kept my pallet. It's got 10 quantity or 5 quantity of items. Now I've opened it. I've taken 2 quantity. I'm keeping 8 back. So I will do the scanning. How that?
So you take a pallet. So basically, it's 2 things. First you take a pallet, drop it here, and then you pick only 2 out of here. And there's a third thing is to take the pallet from here to the bin. So basically, you're doing this activity in 3 steps. First step, take a full pallet, drop it here. Second step is to remove 2 pieces, go and deliver where you want. Third step is to take the pallet back from here to here.
Or it from here to where you pick it up, right?
See, that location became empty. That could be picked by any other pallet.
But where I'm managing the content of the pallet, but I have not scanned my individual item within the pallet. So if I keep a whole pallet, now next time I need to send whole pallet, I can give a same pallet by mistake. How do I maintain that I've taken 2 quantity out of
the quantity will get updates, Kabir. When you do take away the quantity, so there will be internal warehouse tasks, like movement will be created, which will, like in your example, you got a 10, it will pick up 2 and update, reduce 10 from 10 to 8. So there will be a stock lying in 2 different locations. One with a 8 quantity, one with a 2 quantity.
Okay.
Right, Ron, correct me if I'm saying.
Yeah, that's correct. So just to add, see, what we do is when you're executing a task, you are proposed by the scanner to enter the quantity.
Yeah.
Okay. So at this stage, there'll be no quantity proposal. It will say just take the entire pallet. But the moment you try to pick an item from here, it will tell you to pick only 2. You cannot pick 10. You cannot pick 5. So quantity will be proposed by system to you.
Oh.
And Kabir, scanner, don't think of scanner. Think of just SAP scanner will come later automatically. So because scanner is also doing the same stuff in the background, what we are trying to do without scanner. So if we understand without scanner will come automatically. The steps.
Sure.
Okay, so yeah, we'll cover that as well. How typical looks at things, scanner or desktop. Yeah. So okay, so this is storage type role. There are some more roles for MFS storage type. We'll see that during the MFS session. So
what is MFS?
Material flow system.
Okay.
Automated rack storage.
Okay, so conveyor system, what we have here.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the general config. Then we have the putaways.
Rohan, can we go top again, please? There is this available from, Rohan, I don't know whether what's the plan for you, but I want to walk you through with each and every field, whatever you know, okay, and which is like level of available quantity, right?
Mhm.
This is another, if you know or something, so just a small description and the example, the way you are doing it, that will be really helpful
See,
for us to understand.
I don't want to make it heavy for the team, who are new, for the teammates who are new to WM. Let us understand through the process. We do this config and then see what happens. So, and it maybe, altogether we'll spend the entire time discussing this, but it's better, I would better understood, if we test them.
Fine. Yes. So that's why I asked you.
Yeah, focus on the important ones.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the put away section. We have stock removal section. So the put away, the important fields are like put away rule, how we control the product going into a storage. Okay. And when it goes into a storage, what type of rule we have? For example, it's in the rack, it's empty, always system looks for an empty bin. If it's a general storage, just one or two general area, one or two bin in a general area, addition to stock in a fixed bin storage.
Hey, ZaranTech now offers SAP corporate training. That's right. Train your workforce in SAP with our comprehensive program. We offer customized courses, certified trainers, and hands-on labs for both individuals and businesses. Our standout features: bespoke training, fully configured servers for practice, in-house materials, and a dedicated LMS. Plus, get session recordings and 24/7 support. From functional to technical modules, we have got it all. Choose ZaranTech for SAP training and watch your team excel. Learn, upskill, succeed with ZaranTech.
So when we go through the inbound, we'll be covering this in more detail, and each strategy has a control, on strategy has a different control on how the bins are identified, and where we allow certain things, we don't allow. So one important thing that we, discuss at the start of our storage type config, I would say two important things. One is addition to stock. The other one is mixed storage. Okay. So the addition to stock means if there is already stock in a bin, do you want to allow adding new stock to the same bin? Now, depending on the product, depending on the storage, depending on your movement of your products in the warehouse, how fast they move, certain warehouse may allow it, certain may don't allow it. So the benefit of allowing it is you utilize your space. So if there is a bin which is having spare capacity, you want to add more stock to that bin so that your warehouse is getting filled up thoroughly. Okay. But the drawback is, in the same bin you have stock which is old and the stock which is newly added. So there are chances that the warehouse picker may, if it's not a batch managed item or not a serialized item, there are chances that the picker may pick the new stock first. The old stock is kept at the back and it stays there. Okay. So there are certain storage type where we have to allow it. For example, in fixed bins, the whole concept of fixed bin is you take a part to a bin, always remove the part from a fixed bin. And if it gets empty or it is about to get empty, you come and place a new pallet into that bin. So whenever I say a fixed bin storage, for those who are new to warehouse management, just imagine fixed bin is similar to what you see in your retail stores or your grocery stores. You have, special areas, you fish special location for each product. So when you go to buy, groceries, where the rice is kept, there's exact location. That it's easy for you to pick. The same concept is used in fixed bin. The picker is picking for production or outbound. There's a dedicated location. He always goes there to pick a part. And for example, just take example of rice bags. You whenever you go to pick a rice bag in your grocery stores, it is always there. Even though, let's say, 10 customers, they come all together, they pick all the bags, it is empty. Immediately the warehouse team will know that, that bin is empty. They will bring in next set of 10 bags there. So that's basically replenishment. So they are getting the parts from the warehouse to the fixed bin. And then again, the system works in such a way that you, the moment you receive out of 10 bag, the moment you pick 8, there is the lead time to bring 10 bag. That much time we have calculated, till that 2 gets consumed, the 10 will be there in that bin. Okay. So we in industry, we use a lot of fixed bin. It is especially for production supply. Our warehouse also, the reason we have kept fixed bin storage here, because the production team can be quickly supplied, with small components that they need in fixed bin area, from the fixed bin area. And this fixed bin is like a marketplace, like your grocery store, and then whatever parts they need, once the stock goes down, they're refilled from a high rack storage or a rack storage. So the pallets are kept here, and their representation, a small quantity of that pallet is represented here into these locations. Okay.
So Ron, when I do the goods, because when I'm moving to the fixed storage location or moving to the bulk or to the open, when I received it in the GR zone area, my product, and this is the preparation area, what we have understood so far, right? So here all the printing works happen at this stage only, like your pallet number, your labels, or the barcode, or it get printed on the next step. Because why I'm coming over here, I'm comparing this with the WM. When my product sits in interim, there is no printing. But when I move it into the respective storage type, at that time I get my label printed. So is it same in WM, or it will be?
It is same. You can print it here, label it, then put it into the bin. That is an ideal thing.
No. So 9010. So when I receive in 9010, will I get my SEC number or the barcode printer printed at this stage? The pallet number will be generated at this stage or not?
See,
9010.
Okay, can we park this, till we come back to packaging specification or handling units? Because, there are several other things which I want to explain to you before we discuss that. Yeah. So label generation, what are the different ways? It depends on, how the handling units are created. So it has some prerequisite discussions, we should have.
Yeah. That's fine. But the information, okay, forget about the printing. The information about the batch number, for example, okay. When I do the good visit, I will have my batch number. I know that. And if my stock is sitting in 1910, still it will have the batch number, correct?
That's
okay,
correct.
Because it is created at the time of the GR. What will happen to my pallet number? When I received it in, it will be there. That's
Okay. So coming back to the production supply, I was talking about, you pick stock from here, then goes down, you replenish full pallets from here to here. There can be instances where we supply the full pallets directly from here to production, or you may pick directly a full pallet for a customer. But wherever you're picking loose pieces less than a full pallet, the standard SAP suggests you move it to fixed bin, and then keep the it's like you keep one full pallet here, keep it open, and then
how
picking small quantities from here.
So how this, because there is no delivery to how the tasks are getting generated. So for 8005 fixed bin, you moving anything from your different storage area, right? Your high rack bar. So there must be a requirement that fixed bin is gone down, or is it somebody? So how that is coming?
So there's a batch job which runs, there's a program for replenishment which runs and checks all the fixed bins, whether they have gone down below minimum level. It tries to refill them. And also there is a event which get triggered. So if you're picking a product, you say the minimum quantity is 2. If it has reached, system also generates an event which will try to pull a pallet from the. So it's automated, and plus there are possibilities of using a batch job.
And they're all internal
process
which happening, right? Okay, because there's no transport coming.
Yeah.
So
Right.
here, Rohan, if you go back to the PPT, please. So the example, what we were seeing, the requirement is coming from the production supply area for the manufacturing, right? Okay, and production supply area need the component. So the input for that is the production order, and we have the control cycle created, right?
That's correct.
And so I have created a production order. Now production got a 10 components, and that components need to be supplied from warehouse to my staging area. Now, depending on my requirement, right, I can need a part quantity, or I can need entire pallet, depending on my control cycle strategy, or like what we call that rule, right? So if I have something if I need a full pallet, and if it's sitting over in my high rack storage area, it will straight away move from my high rack storage area to the production supply area. But there will be a background job which will generate this requirement. We are trying to say that, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. And in case of part quantity from a pallet, so from part quantity from a pallet, so like in the pallet, the palletization is 100, and I required only 60. So what will the background job will run, which will generate a requirement to move pallet from 8001 to 8005, where the operator can do the break the pallet and bring out the required quantity.
It's not that way.
It's not that
if
way.
it is 60, it will take from 8005.
Yeah, but how? But there's a movement which need to be done from 8001
That doesn't
to
matter,
8005.
that doesn't matter for production. It's 60 here. The moment the quantity goes down to 20, it will bring a drop a pallet here. And whenever the production needs, they'll pick it from here. So this is production will never look at what is here. They look at their bin. When we go for shopping, we just look for what is there in the fixed bin we need to pick. We don't look into their warehouse. The same thing is happening here. They look from the fixed bin only.
You may be capturing it somewhere, but where we are defining this 805, that production need to look.
We'll cover that as part of production staging configuration and all those things. It will come up difficult to cover everything at this stage, but yeah, we'll slowly reach there. Let's focus on storage type creation. We need to get the storage types created. We will change them, modify them. They're there. They're not going anywhere.
Sorry to interrupt. One question here actually in our whenever the product consumed against the production order, whenever the 261 movement type happen in IM level, system automatically pick the storage bin. Whenever the 261 movement, system automatically product from the particular storage bin and issue to production supply area.
So you are always picking from a dedicated location. So you need to create a fixed bin, assign the fixed bin for the product, and then when you're staging it, the storage stock removal strategy should pick from that fixed bin.
Know how this correlate with this movement type, the 261. When the
okay, so 261. So basically, are you using delivery based integration, or you're using
delivery? No, not production order, against production order.
Are you using PMR?
Yeah.
So basically, it will look at your delivery type. You can map a different delivery type, and then for that delivery type, you can do a strategy to pick from fixed bin.
It's based on the delivery type, right?
That's correct.
Okay. But actually, this scenario is only for issue, right? Against production order, not delivery. This is against production order.
Okay. So when you stage for production order, it is going to create delivery.
No.
Okay. So can we park this, at the end of the session, please? It's related to your project. And everyone is waiting. Let's progress with our topics. Yeah. I request guys, please keep your questions related to the topic so that there are wider audience. We need to proceed as well. So I was explaining you about the type of storage and the important indicators. Coming back to what I was explaining you, the important indicators, what you need to decide. At the time of creation, one is handling unit. You need to take a call, ideally at this stage. Then addition to stock, whether you want to allow or you don't want to allow. I was giving you an example of fixed bin. You will allow that because the type of storage itself needs that. But if it's a rack storage, you may not allow it. So basically, this indicator controls, whether it's has to be product based. You want to allow it for certain products. You don't want to allow it. So my recommendation, when you start with your warehouse, keep all the indicators same as standard. So I've just kept all my indicators same as standard 8 zeros. I've copied the VNA storage, keep everything same. And when you execute a process, then see, where you want to change, and then only make change to those relevant indicators. So this is important. Then we have another decision to make ideally at the start. If at all, business is not able to decide, or, there's less involvement from business and you are basically getting understanding and configuring for them, the next thing I believe we would discuss is mixed storage. Mixed storage means, when we are storing a product in a bin, whether we allow more than one product in a bin or not. Okay, so mixed storage is very important, especially, for example, we have racks. Okay, so if we have a production rack, more than one product in a pallet, and it's stored on a rack, then ideally business would not want that, because it is easy for you to take full pallets. The whole aim, business will try to reduce as many partial pallet as possible. So all the movement should be for full pallets. That's where you save time in opening the pallet, trimming stock. So when we basically contact a supplier, we tell them, don't give anything mixed. Or if at all the supplier has given us anything mixed, we deconsolidate them. We create individual pallet for each handling each product. Okay, so a warehouse ideally would need separate pallet for each item. It becomes easy for pick, easy for identification, easy for physical inventory. And in inbound, we have a special process of deconsolidation where we repack if at all something mixed has come. Okay, but there will be certain storage like 8003. If the entire storage is, let's say, one bin. So here I would allow mixed storage, because I will have a bulky parts, I will have pipes, I will have steel, I will have steel rolls. Everything is kept here in the open space. So here I will allow mixed storage. But somewhere where it's rack, generally we don't allow that. So these are the standards which the warehouses use. So then mixed storage in HU, whether you want to allow that or you don't want to allow that. Initial stage, business will not be able to, or you may not be able to configure everything at this point. Let's keep it same as the standard. Then there are some settings on the available stock removal control, whether you want to allow negative stock or what happens when you pick from a pallet. So for example, there is quantity of 10 and you're picking 2. So what happens, when you pick 2, you have a trolley, you've taken 2 pallets into a trolley, 2 pieces into a trolley, then the entire 2 pieces are transferred. But if you are working with, a handling unit for the 2 piece, in case of nesting scenario, that handling unit also gets copied over to your trolley. So basically, if you have a box of 2, that box also, there is a handling unit for the box. The box handling unit also becomes part of the trolley. So during picking, we'll use this indicator. This controls, how you're picking items and how the handling units are managed during picking. Okay. Then I was talking about replenishment. These are the indicators where we'll control how the replenishment works. We have a special topic for availability group. We'll see in what instance we need to assign availability group here. These are the further indicators which we'll discuss during our quarantine and internal warehouse process discussion. Okay.
Why we have availability group 002 here?
So we have 2 availability groups, right? 1 and 2 we have assigned.
Yeah, I know. Why we have this 002?
Best.
Why not 001?
So 002 is ROD or AFS.
AFS.
So if I'm placing the stock in 8002, stock should be AFS, right?
And
8001.
And where the 001 will come in this diagram?
9010. See, 9010 quality, deconsolidation, they are store location 1000. Doors, they will have availability group 1. Okay. So I'll create the storage type. And for now, what I'm going to do is I'm just simply going to copy these storage type from the standard and create them. As we will come back again, I understand, this is important. There are many questions coming to your mind, but yeah, we need to make progress. And trust me, slowly, when we go through the scenarios, the concepts, you will come across each of these indicators and we'll explore them. Okay. So let's come to the rack storage. It is also a type of a VNA storage only. Just we don't have it doesn't go too high. It's a rack storage only. So I'm going to copy Y011 again, create 8002, and this is rack storage. So this is exactly what we would do in a project. We will copy the standard and create our own version of them. 8005 fixed pin storage. So in the standard, you can see this is the description itself. It tells you that it's fixed pin. So you copy that and it's 8005. So as of now, whatever storage types I'm creating, just see the role, they are standard. Okay. I'll slowly come to the other ones also. In 8005, it's a fixed pin storage. Fixed pin storage indicator has been set. Okay. Then we have a 8004, which is a bulk storage. So, which is a bulk storage. You can see here bulk storage. Yeah. 8041. I'll copy that and say 8004 bulk storage. So important point to note here, it's also like, for each storage, there are certain requirements. For example, bulk storage, handling unit is mandatory. The storage behavior is set to 2, it's a bulk storage. So it will be difficult for us to remember all the standard setup required for a bulk storage. That's why we prefer to copy one, and so we will save it. So, and similarly, we'll also create the 8006. So 8006, initially we discussed, it's like a pallet storage only, but with several sections. Yeah. So I'm going to copy rack storage only. And when we are going to configure the pallet storage, at that time we will create here several. We'll change the strategy to a pallet storage so it creates multiple pallets in a bin with sections. Okay, so I'm just going to copy my rack storage itself, and the downstream configuration I will do separately for a pallet storage. Why I'm taking this, because standard SAP does not have a pallet storage. The Y ones, they don't have a pallet storage. So these are the standard ones. Storage type role standard. Now I'll go with the doors first. Staging areas. These also I'll create my own version. Okay, they are there in standard, but I will create my own based on my layout. So doors 9030 is my inbound door. So here you can see there are door storage type which SAP has given. I'll copy that and say 9030. And here you can see the role has changed to F. Okay, so I will say doors for good receipt. Okay, then I will also copy that and create my doors for outbound goods issue. And that is 9040. So if you're into your workshop, if you try to, during your workshop, if you try to, during the discussion of how the warehouse looks like, if you try to prepare a diagram or a block and, get this information filled with business, it will be very easy for you to configure. That's how I generally do. I just try to get these things identified.
So just on the door issue, what you did this one? Where is this one door issue? I just missed this one.
Here you can see there's a separate door for the
okay, for the outbound. Yeah, for the outbound. Yeah. Okay.
So these are the doors. The truck, they come into the warehouse from here, and the one they'll pick the material from the goods issue area. They go out from here. Okay.
And it can have both same as well, depending on your structure, right?
Yeah,
it's not mandatory. Yeah.
It's not mandatory. So, but ideally, if it's
generally happen.
You may.
Yes.
Yeah, you may like to identify they may be in the same area, but you may have allocate some to outbound, something. You can do that as well. Okay. Then the staging area. So we have staging area for GR 9010, staging area for goods issue. So staging area it's like an intermediate area. We take the parts there. After truck comes, we unload the part into this area. Okay. So you unload it, and then So basically, you're basically freeing up the truck and this part. Basically, these are, some special forklifts may be required to unload the pallets. So they keep it here. There will be instances, there'll be some warehouse which you may come across where they'll say you'll directly take and put it here. So that is also possible. But generally, we keep them here and load them here. And then they may be either taken for deconsolidation, quality, or to the storages. Okay. So this is a intermediate area before we place the part into the final bin. So once you unload at this stage, you may, or if you're not using unload, when you do a good receipt, the stock gets added here and then you put it away into the warehouse. So basically at this stage, your stock is registered into the system. Okay. So as soon as you do an unload, you can see the stock in MMB, you can see the stock in your warehouse monitor that the stock is being received. You will see the stock. Material document will be created, accounting documents will be created at this stage. So I've told you, I was explaining you standard SAP also has a staging area in EWM, which is 4 character. The best practice is Y901. I've changed it to 9010, and you can see the rule is I, which is important. Okay. Now the staging area rule is D, but why I has been maintained here? So it should be D, and you can change it to D. But what I gives us is additional flexibility. You can pack your products into the staging area if you want. So work center is where you can do a repacking. So generally, if any repacking is there, we don't need to move it to a separate repacking storage type. We could do a repacking here itself. Okay, so that gives us the additional flexibility. It is not mandatory. You will not always do repacking, but at times, if it for some process going forward when you're designing your scenarios, if at all a repacking comes in, then you can do it if it's set up as.
So when you say repacking when I'm getting mixed pallet from my supplier and I split that out, is that something? Because
that
in
is
the inbound
also
area,
a repacking.
yeah, but I'm just thinking of the scenario where in 9010, this is inbound staging area. Like definitely it will be there, but I'm not able to recall this process where I can use that, where I can, if I'm receiving anything from my supplier and I need to repack.
There are many instances you may do that. For example, you told your supplier to always give into your special pallets. You have given them a special pallets which you send into production, and then they get empty, and then they send back to supplier. So certain, especially in mechanical components, automobile, you get these types of special pallets. Now let's say the pallets, they didn't reach the supplier. They send into their some other pallet, some different pallet. Now you don't want to take those supplier pallets into the warehouse because your forklifts cannot pick them. Your material handling equipments are not designed to handle those pallets. So you would like to change the type of pallet. This is one instance.
Yes.
You get mixed product. You don't want to do a repacking and deconsolidation area. You will do it here. You have a standard pack. Third scenario, you have a standard packing, per handling unit quantity is 10. That is fixed for a product. But if the supplier gave you per handling unit quantity of 9, it's a mistake. Or it could be a new vendor. Yeah. So there are many cases where we end up doing repacking. So so keep it I. That's how SAP
is it coming in standard? I is coming as a standard because you did not change it, right?
I'm not changing it. I'm keeping it as
so it by default. Okay, SAP comes with that.
My recommendation is everyone have their own style of working. My style is I don't change anything standard unless it's really required. Because we will try to our aim is to first make sure the standard process they work for the client, and if at all
then you do the manipulation.
First manipulation is config, then enhancement.
Then screwed away. So again, the best practice this 9020 and 9010. These are the standard one which come with 001 warehouse. But in here we were looking. So what is the best? What is your suggestion to keep it 9010 and 920, 9020?
Yeah, just keep it. Sometimes some customers will say, no, we don't want numbers. Put it as RECV. Put this as a ship. So it doesn't matter.
So just one thing, Rohan, you mentioned you don't change it, otherwise that is stock. example of handling unit you gave when you created the first storage location, where you had a handling unit 5. You gave an example. You don't make changes. You transport it as it is, because what will happen if they change it later on? That get stuck. Is it get stuck? Or be like you can't do anything with it? Like it's not physically stuck, is it?
Yeah, so see, if things get stuck, you obviously, there are ways to overcome that. See, let's say, you have storage type 8001. You identified it as a non-HU managed. So you have a product M-01 10 piece. Okay. O2 10 piece, for example. Okay. Now you have made it as a handling unit managed, but the existing stock did not have handling unit. The HU was blank for them. Now 8001 is HU managed. Okay. So now these stock, you can't remove them because, there is no handling unit. The moment you say handling unit flag, anything coming into the storage type, anything you're removing from the storage type should have a handling unit. Okay. So then if this config moves to production and yes, your storage type is not empty, this will get stuck. So you'll have to do some manual workaround. Either open the client, remove this config, take the material out, do the config again out of office hours, contact SAP to they'll create some handling units here. So
that way.
Yeah, that way. So yeah, be careful. I mean, quality is okay. Quality you can, but after quality, after UAT, be very careful with production. Quality, even if this become inconsistent, it doesn't matter to you. It will stay there. Next quality refresh, it will be gone. So you can ignore it. But production,
or if the stock is too high, create a new storage type. That can be another option.
I think, create a new storage type. It is not possible at all to, remove all the stock during the cutover.
Okay.
So if it all not possible, they say, no, we are working 24/7, then create 8003, 8009. And then, but new storage type creation, you have to do everything, all strategies and whatever, later on configurations are there. You have to test all the scenarios, basically. Even if you miss one scenario, it will stop your process. So that should be a last proposal to create a non option, last option.
Bye. Thank you.
Right. So we created our staging areas. Now it's time to create the work centers. So work centers, you perform any value-added activities like labeling, repacking, inspection, oiling, greasing, whatever. You want to take it to a separate area and do that. That area is a work center. So in our layout, we have 3 work centers, one for reconsolidation, one for quality, one for packing before we send it to customer. Okay. So let me do that. Let me create those work centers. In standard, we have quality for sure. Should be somewhere here. Yeah. Copy this. You can see the role is I again, because why I? It's a work center. It should be A, why I? Are there any why we are keeping a staging area? Because there will be instances you may consuming stock from here.
What sets ZaranTech apart in SAP corporate training? It's our unique blend of expertise and innovation. We offer customized courses tailored to each client's needs, ensuring relevant, targeted learning. Our vast trainer database brings you wisdom from the best in the field. Need resources? Access our extensive training material repository anytime. We are all about measurable results, providing detailed student metrics to track progress. And we don't just teach, we build community. Join our thriving social media network, connecting learners beyond boundaries. With ZaranTech, you are not just training, you are transforming your SAP expertise.
Like a sample, like in destructive sample, you consume a stock. So your stock gets added or removed in a warehouse from a staging area only. Okay. So that's why standard SAP says keep it I on a safer side in case you come across a process where you are consuming something or you're scrapping something in quality. So you cannot do it from a work center. It has to have a additional identification of a work center as well, or for staging area as well. So we have
for any material which is marked for the quality work center is mandatory. in the process of
No, it's not mandatory. It depends on how you design your flow. Some customers will say, I may inspect in the GR area. Some even say we'll inspect in the truck itself. Okay, packing. Let's do it in the outbound packing area.
So ideally, the ones which you don't require, you will delete them.
Yeah, I will delete them at the end after my.
I'm just asking.
Yeah. You would delete them, but yeah, at the end.
Okay.
So for the quality purpose, Rohan, like what is the quality process? We have inspection type assigned to the material master. When we perform the good receipt, we got an inspection lot generated, right? And then we do the quality inspection and we reject or block. And depending on that, my stock move to the respective storage location, to the stock type. So here in EWM, so when the movement is happening, then it is then the process start over here, right? When the quality do the UD and move the stock to the relevant stock type, then the process start over here, right?
That's correct.
In EWM.
Yeah. So basically you can imagine this is a team sitting over here for inspection. They need the pallet before they inspect, and when they have inspected, they need the pallet to be taken out.
Yeah. So they will open the pallet and take out one cases, for example, one bag, something. So when they will cases, so this stock will get updated in this location, right? So there are 10 kgs. So they take out 1 kg, so it will become 9 kg now. Yeah. 1 kg for the quality.
Yeah, that's correct.
And this will happen against any outbound, inbound delivery, or it will be simple postings because now here we are taking the pallet out, right? Quantity out from the pallet.
This will be inbound. You can also do it as part of your internal. You can take any pallet out and you can do anything.
So just one question on this. You did GR was done at 9010, right? When the GR zone.
So GR is done in 9010. It will take into quality.
But what is the status? So in MM, what will be MME?
Q.
It will be showing quality.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we'll see it more in detail.
Yes. We'll see when the process.
So coming back to the quality we created, packing we created, I'm going to create deconsolidation now. So deconsolidation is I, and there's no standard. SAP has not given us in the best practice. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy packing and create a deconsolidation.
Oh, it's Control E. This can be classed as I as well?
Yeah, you can class as I, but in packing, generally in packing, we don't consume stock during packing. Yeah, but if it is damaged and if you want to scrap from, the chances that if you want to allow scrapping from there, then change it to I.
I. Okay.
So the rule was that if we have anything which we are consuming, like generally the work center don't allow you the consumption, Rohan, right? So, and if you think your process that your quantity may get updated, then it has to be I, because work center will not let you reduce the quantity.
That's correct. That's correct. It will not allow you to change your quantity.
Yes.
It will not allow you to consume, receive. Basically, stock movements are not possible without it being a staging area. So that we assign a dual role kind of a thing.
And I take it this role concept is very EWM specific.
It's not there.
Right.
This is the main hurt.
But it's good for somebody like me who's coming new. I know the role there.
Okay. All right. So coming to the next storage type, production. Yeah. Do we have production standard? Let's look at it. Production supply. Yeah. Y061. Copy that.
Now this is the storage location which is not come out of default, but you suggest it's a good practice to have, because out of default will only come the 2 storage location, right? But these are the extra one you create, correct? Because you extended it to 4.
Yeah.
Ideally it comes only 2. So this is not correct. Okay.
I'm creating for traceability identification. I want to separate.
No, which is good, which makes sense what you described. But I'm just trying to link what comes and what is delta here. Okay.
So can you do F4 as well in staging type? Yes, please. One more time, please. Just want to see some values. Production.
Right. This is K.
Production.
Okay.
Production.
We'll save it.
Yes, please.
Okay. So now
in your experience, Rohan, and realistically, does organization create storage extend that like production supply? I know it is specific, but from your experience, do they create because it's additional work for the same warehouse people.
A separate store location for production?
Yes. In your experience, or I know it's a
In
good
my
practice,
experience,
but
I had a bad experience where we did not take, and we were like forced to hear from a client for 6 months why you haven't done it before. So we had to do a big project to apply it. And then I make a point. I straight away declare upfront for my other projects. This is
Right.
an option. I take an agreement. You don't want it because production work in progress inventory it is reported as a as part of the inventory reporting for balance sheet and other finance reporting. They have to do a lot of manual check, not a lot of manual actions like download the stock from EWM, what is in production supply area, then find out its value, get the MBW extract, then get the overall value. It's a big work for them. It's very
And what advantage I see having the production supply area respective storage location is only the ETP, if I'm correct, Rohan, for the production time. Because when you are doing the ETP check in the availability check in the production order, it will only look in 3000, not in any other location. That is the only advantage I see apart from having this separate storage location for the production.
Yeah, that also helps. See, basically here, you are consuming from 3000, but see, you are getting stock from your availability is checked in 2000. You're taking stock from 2000, and it is there in 3000 for consumption. So when you're picking from 2000.
But the consumption is happening from 3000, right?
Yeah. So availability happens during the picking when you're taking the stock from warehouse to production area. So once it's in the production area, then it's fine. You can consume it.
For the production area. What I'm saying is, what I'm understanding is, so production 2000 where my availability is checked. So that good is kind of semi.
No.
Production, not fully, but it's moved. It's not that.
No, availability will check happen where the component is assigned in the bill of material. Now in bill of material, you have the storage location assigned to the material from where it need to be consumed. Okay, now, now
availability it doesn't happen at.
It can happen at plant storage location.
No, it will not happen. It will happen in EWM now. With
it will happen, but it will be happen at the combination. Like I can do at the availability check the plant level, material level, plant storage combination level, right? So if I don't maintain the storage location, okay, so what will happen? It will check my ATP at the plant level. But if I'm maintaining my storage location, like in production order, if you go to CO02 or CO03 and do the component overview, you have the plant and the storage location, right? That information is being copied from the bill of material. Now, when my MRP will happen. So MRP will check the stock at that combination level. That's what my understanding is. It will check the stock at that combination level. I can have the stock in 1000, right? In storage location 1000, but that is not available for my production.
Yeah, that's correct. So you have stock in 2000. So when you are creating a production order for, it will have storage location 2000. Okay, and the moment you supply for consumption, you can supply it. You can pick it from 3000.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do it on.
We'll do that.
But system will know automatically.
System will not know. We have to tell system what to do.
So basically, for picking, it will have to check in 2000. For consumption, it will have to check in 3000.
Yes, 3000. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what we have to. Yeah, fine.
Yeah, we want to see. Okay.
All right. So last two storage type, and then we'll stop. I think it's almost 5 minutes left. So the identification points and the pick points. Yard, we'll create yard storage type during the yard session. Okay, identification point. I have here handover point for Narwhal. I'll just copy that and create an identification point, which is W0I1. Yeah, this is.
And it's again as a work center? No. Yeah, it is a work center kind of.
It should be. It is actually. It should be identification point. It should be C. It's not C. Yeah, it should be actually A. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll mark it A. I don't think there is standard anything available with A. So I'll just copy this identification point for 8001.
And would A will allow us goods movement? Because we said we can take, in the example we talked about we'll pack 2, take 2, pack 8, and put it back in the example.
Yeah, it will allow us to pack but not consume, because this is only for packing.
Okay.
So here again, if it is, we cannot use something like deconsolidation and consolidation over here for this one. Because
Deconsolidation.
this is, because if you go in your flow, if you go in your Excel, so what we understood from that point that it is used to unpack the palette, right, and take it out. This is right. This is what we understood.
Yeah. For pick point.
To open the palette and reduce. So something deconsolidation can do this task as well.
No, deconsolidation is only for inbound. Deconsolidation is for mixed palette, breaking of mixed palette for inbound. Outbound, we don't use deconsolidation.
Okay.